Hi, leaders. It is Thursday, December 13th, and I'm glad we're still having our weekly leader networking and stuff, even though this is such a busy time of year. But I feel like staying connected is important. So, what did you all think of the booking blitz that is ongoing?
Good info. I've liked all the videos.
Good. It was nice. We had some different ones this time. It's like every time we do it, different people are available to speak and stuff. I reached out to very few people. Pretty much all those people reached out to me and said that they would be happy to offer something. I did have to chase down Kay Demmer, but other than that, everybody else volunteered. And it's not that she wasn't happy to do it. She was. It was just harder to get her into a slot. But I really appreciated a lot of the information that was shared myself, and I'm still working on it. And again, I feel like the lesson from this is always, why don't we do these things all the time? If we made the time to make those kind of contacts every single day, the reality is we would never need a booking blitz, at least not personally. That's why it was hard to get Kay. Kay had shows, she had follow-ups, she had all these kinds of things going on. And what was one of the first things she said in her video? That she makes about 5 of these contacts every single day. Every day. And they're fast, they're easy. I don't know why I allow myself to get away from it, and I'm guessing that, a lot of you would agree. And that's why Kay is up there top 10 all the time, and I'm not. So definitely important to remember that is really, our job. Our first job is that of stylist and personal business. Everything else has to fall into place second. And we get so caught up in leader stuff and training and organizing jewelry, straightening up the office, all these other tasks, that then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't have enough shows. So if you haven't looked at the stuff yet, or even if you haven't looked at all of it, like, it's okay, watch a couple of them. And if you feel like you got enough ideas, then that's fine. Move forward with those. I set the time frame to be through tonight. I still have one more live to do with a little wrap-up activity, and Mary Grace has an announcement that she's going live with as well first. So that'll all still take place today. But then again, I think the lesson learned is, continue it anyway. Just because it's technically over doesn't mean that we shouldn't be still doing those behaviors. Of course, ideally, the best thing is when our team participates in the booking blitz. And did you get a sense that anyone from your team was participating? Or did you see anybody commenting, or did any of your team members reach out to you?
I know I for sure had one, and she made a point to do an event in her area, and she already has, like, I think 15 people that have committed to her event. So that's a win.
Fantastic. Is that Ashley?
Yep.
Good. And she's in a new area, so that's important. Yep. That's great.
Yep.
Good. I'm super excited to hear that. What about Samantha? Did she participate in anything?
She did not participate. However, she did go and watch Becky's video about vision boarding, and yesterday she sent me all of her notes with some things that she wanted to implement. And she had not invited anybody to the Check Us Out group, and so that's kind of where I encouraged her to start. And she invited, I think, 3 or 4 people yesterday.
Awesome.
And so then I'll just walk that process through with her to make sure that she's following up with them and just see if they have any questions. So I think she just had a baby, 2 months ago. So I think she's just trying to figure out, how to manage all of that and juggle it. So she's doing a very good job, but just needing someone to really walk through those processes with her and hold her hand a little bit more than I have been doing, but I think she's going to be worth it.
Good. Yeah, I mean, she puts a lot of time into her business, and she definitely lives on Facebook, because have you ever had somebody comment as fast or like and love your post as fast as that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good, because she is using it, you know, for her business as well. She does good online sales and stuff. So I would love to see her, you know, continue to succeed with that. Good. All right. So I think that would be the next step for all of us as leaders, is check in with people who say they want business, but then where were they on the booking blitz? And did they not do the booking blitz because they're already booked for January? Or because they forgot, they didn't realize, they didn't make time. And let's address that. Last night, some of you may have seen the live. Donna made a sample of our convention shirt. So just in case you didn't see it, this is the front, and actually you can probably see it better now. You know what? Let me put it on speaker view so this is the front. Can you see it? Because now I'm guessing that I'm holding it in the right spot.
Yes.
Okay. And then she made the back super deluxe.
I love it. I love it so much.
So cute.
She did say there were a few people that said, oh, the stars up at the top would look good with some extra gold, like from the Yellow Brick Road. So I think the official version is going to have some of the stars up at the top here with some gold. But just fantastic. So because it's the winter, we'll do the V-neck t-shirt or the hoodie as the option. Of course, anybody can get both, neither, one. And then if you have guests coming, because that came up at the last convention, people's like guests had like some sort of alternate shirt and stuff like that because they didn't know if they could get one. Okay, it's not a sorority. And anybody who wants a shirt can have a shirt.
I mean, we're going to limit it to the Shine On guest.
Yes, the Shine On guests are all eligible for a shirt. There's no like secret handshake or anything like that.
I mean, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, no one's getting excluded. We do require $1,000 net show held for the fashion director that they're coming with. But other than that, like, we're easy. So if anyone, I know that, the Orlando was a much more family-friendly destination, and that's why we had extra kids and stuff like that. But just in case, if anyone is bringing children, friends, guests, Donna can always modify the shirt, make a second version. You name it, it's there. We'll get you taken care of. So if you wanted to say friend of, or my mom is, or anything like that, we're super happy to accommodate them with a shirt as well. So I think that it will be super fun. We have a lot of people that say they're coming that are not registered. So we kind of need to get on that, because right now we're not coming close to that Sparkle Suite. We're at half.
Tina Kane is probably coming. She's not registered.
Right.
Rosa is probably coming and bringing her husband. She's not registered. And Lisa McLean.
Awesome. All right, good. That's 4.
So
excellent. Does anyone else know that you're not registered, or someone under you that's definitely coming that's not registered that we can anticipate?
Okay, Eric's not registered yet.
And he's coming?
More than likely, yes.
Awesome.
Edward
I should be making my goal. I have only 2 of us registered, but I have others who say they're coming, and I'm going to get one to go ahead and register.
That's great, Sheila. I'm excited about that. Awesome. Yeah. And like I was saying on the live last night, remember that spouses are a very spectacular way for us to get those last, few steps over the finish line in a pinch. So if you think they're going, we'll get them registered. It's only $59 for a spouse. And like I said as well, and we've discussed this before, like, they're not doing DNA swabs on somebody being your spouse. So if you're bringing, your best friend, you can kind of do them as a spouse, or, you know what I mean? Or, like, don't go crazy with worrying about that kind of stuff. Now in the case, like, remember last year, Marlena under summer brought her friend Shannon, and then she ended up joining by the end of convention. So it's a great way to show somebody the business. It's a great way to get somebody involved in the sisterhood. Now, if someone is like joining and still coming, then don't register them as a guest. Get them
because
active.
they don't get stuff. Yeah.
Right. Get them active before we go, because then they get the bag and they get the gift and they get to go to the Sparkle Suite and all of that stuff. So if someone's joining, even if they were planning on joining after convention, like, find a way to get them some orders and get them registered beforehand so that they can have the full experience of getting all the fun stuff. Hi, Belinda.
Hi, Michelle. I'm so sorry.
As usual, she's coming to us from some sort of dark cave. We get like
I'm gonna get you one of these lights. Look.
I know. Belinda needs a ring light.
No, you know what it is? I'm actually in the dark room, and then the windows, the light from the back, I'm like the opposite. So it's, yeah.
She likes to do an artsy presentation when she comes on. Profile. We're gonna draw you in charcoal.
You don't want to see this face right now anyway, so it's okay.
We always want to see that face. We don't care. So, Belinda, who from your team do you feel that is coming but not registered currently?
I'm having a hard time with my team right now because Donna and her mom, I don't know.
I know.
Did I just turn it off? Hold on a second. Oh, goodness. Hello. I'm back. So Donna and her mom, if Donna goes, her mom is going. You heard her yesterday.
Yes.
If Donna goes, Maggie is going.
Maggie's only going if Donna goes?
No, I don't know, but I'm thinking that's who she rooms with every time. So
You can make
I
new
don't
friends. We can help her.
Exactly. I'm trying to get Celeste and Rosa to come with me and room together.
Great.
And maybe my sister-in-law.
Great.
So I'm going to talk to her. I'm actually going to call her today because I'm trying to do a little Christmas party for my team on the 22nd. So I'm actually inviting Belinda Rios, Eileen, all of them. So
good. Get some of them back.
Yeah. So hopefully I can get them all, excited to be in the group again and get them back.
That brings up a whole separate thing. What a great idea that is, to invite your inactives to something that's purely social, but to bring them back into the fold and remind them of how much fun it was to be in this group and the fun things that we do. And, everybody really does take this time of year to take stock about what they want next year to be different, what was something that they enjoyed that they got away from, and the business just might be it. So, Belinda, in your case, and any other locals, we have the Scott event on the 14th. So make sure that while they're at your house on the 22nd, get them into the Scott event, get them booked into that. Because if they are still on the fence by January 14th, they may decide they want to come back.
Well, I already have them also. The minute you created that invitation for the 14th, I created an event. And I
good.
I came the last time to the last event, like Sue and all of them, and added a few more. So
awesome.
And I put a lot of the girls that are active also in that invitation. So I'm working on that also.
Awesome. I need to do that. That's a really good idea. So if all the leaders, remember there's going to be The event on Long Island is January 14th. And remember, any Scott event, everybody is eligible. Another Leaders Scott event, everybody's always eligible to go to a Scott event. So Mary Grace is having him come for the first time in like a million years on the 15th. She's the very next night. So if you have any friends or relatives in St. Louis, like Jennifer, we now know that Ashley has long lost relatives apparently in St. Louis from when she got her flat tire and all that when she was driving. Maybe she wants to have them go to the Scott event at Mary Grace's. But anytime you see a Scott event anywhere, please know that you're always allowed to send people. And then just tell them that when they fill out the card that they have to write your name on it at the bottom there when it says, you know, who invited you. Otherwise, whoever's in charge is going to just claim that guest. So just make sure they write your name on it. Okay, so that's good. I feel like just from that little conversation, we must have named at least 15, 20 people. That sounds neat. Oh yeah, Summer, go ahead.
Marlena's boyfriend, Justin, said he could probably come it, but he would only go if Eric went.
All right, well then, giddy up, Eric.
Right.
Take one for the team.
I think when I was talking to
we see you, Eric. Let's go.
Come on, Eric. Jen Ewert said she always shops for airline to Vegas the week after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, and she usually always finds a really good deal.
Okay.
So if you're looking to bring a spouse and it's maybe like on the cusp of cost, maybe shop around that week.
Well, and Elizabeth was telling us that JetBlue is going to be running a big special. She was mentioning a special in our area, but when an airline runs a special, they run it in many locations. So definitely keep your eye on JetBlue for the next couple of weeks too. She said that she's I don't know how she knew this or where she saw it, but she said that she anticipates getting a flight for 2:12 out of, it was either Newark or JFK or something in the general area.
The Today Show mentioned some web address that you can sign up for and put like where you like to travel, and it would email you as soon as they go on sale, because they said that the Tuesday thing is not real.
Yeah. I feel like I register for those all the time, and then I get all these emails that have nothing to do with where I'm going. But if you find one, feel free to let me know. And then I end up unsubscribing because it's so annoying. I'm like, no, I told you I wanted to go to Albuquerque. Thanks, though.
He went for Houston. Take that one.
Well, that is why I keep them on, because I absolutely do keep an eye on flights to all various places. And there was one time where I was like, oh, this is where, I forget which trip it was, but I just happened to see a cheap flight, and I reached out to the leader and said, hey, I could come to you for X dollars on this date. Do you want me to come? So I do that, actually, Becky. I should put myself back on that list for that reason.
How much is the hotel stay? Do you know per night?
I don't recall, because I actually didn't book it yet, now that you might saying that.
I think it was $169.
Okay.
But I found, like, even right now on Expedia, to go through Paris and a flight is cheaper than booking them separate.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Belinda, you're going to do that one time.
I know that we have so many rooms rented, but
yeah.
I was looking at Expedia, but it said it was like $500 for hotel, and no. It was $500 just for the hotel, and it said it did not include the whatever fee it is that you have to add, $41 in
right
a day.
That is what you do have to watch.
Now it's $41.
Right, because 60 the Park Lane rate does include the resort fee, so you do have to watch for that, because if it's going to end up costing more after you pay the resort fee, then don't do the package. But there have been years that the package was definitely better, because I did it once, and I know Belinda's group has done it a couple of times where they found a package that was cheaper. Now, for those on your team that are expressing concern with cost, work, need to be home on Sundays for husbands, whatever. Show them the shortest, cheapest way to go. Because not everybody wants to do like some people feel like, oh, I'm going to go early. I want to see the sites Wednesday, Thursday. And if they can pull that off and they're good with that, then of course they should, because if you're going to pay to go out there. However, if there's somebody who's not going to be able to get that many days off work, or their husband wants them back by Sunday because enough already, or whatever, then remember, they can go out. Divisions and senior divisions will have the meeting on Thursday, but no one else does. So they can come Thursday night late and work, because remember, there's a big time change in most of our favor. You know, it's the same time zone for the Californians, which means it's also a super short flight for them. For the rest of us, there's a time change that allows you to get there earlier than you leave. So let people get in late if that's what they want to do, and tell them to take a red eye home after the end on Saturday night. Yeah, you miss the fun, but you miss all the fun if you don't go at all. So if people want to take a red eye home on Saturday night after convention, the airport's super close. It's super small. You do not have to be there 3 hours before. I mean, and most flights at that hour of the night are delayed anyway. So I did it once. Other people have done it. It stinks to run out of convention, but it stinks more not to go at all. So do show them the way of shorter and cheaper if that's the objection that you're getting. Hi, Joy. Joy, I know you already had, and you may not even be able to answer because I know you're at work and squeezing this in, and I see that you're muted, but or even if you could type your answer in the chat box. I know you already met your convention goal as far as attendance and stuff. Is there anybody on your team that still could register potentially, or still needs to? You have like literally everybody registered. That's what I thought.
The new people.
The brand new people. Okay. All right, good. So let's get them super engaged and we'll get them right to Vegas. That would be great. I love when new people come. Oh, look how nice Glenn Mago looks with that sweater. You're going to make a new girlfriend today. Did you all see Joy's video in the booking blitz? I thought that was great. I really love the way that you worded things.
It was very great. I contacted her right afterwards.
Good. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so let's talk about the special, which the special for direct appoints, which lots of you saw. Mary Grace actually already posted it in the exec page, but just for those that didn't, but either way, we're talking about it more. So, any direct appoint joining our team between now and January 2nd, who would be an area or above, is getting a double size kit. So they're going to get a $2,000 jewelry kit for the $229 instead of a $1,000 jewelry kit. So that is a really great offer. And again, something that this is that time of year, because if there are leaders out there that didn't have the year that they wanted in their current business, or maybe they are out of direct sales but had a long illustrious career and then got away from it, and they're like, man, I would have liked to resume. You know that in their other company they can't just go back, right? If they're out of it, they lost their team, they lost their status and all of that. Whereas here, we'll bring them in at their status or somewhere real close, you know, depending on you know, all the various circumstances. So and as I was talking to the girls that were here at the party last night, like this is when I went on, well, this was when I was contacted. I was contacted by Kathy Cassidy around this time in 2013. I pushed her off till after Christmas. You know, I said, call me after Christmas. December 28th, my phone rang and she was not messing around. And then we scheduled an interview for January 4th. So, and then I thought about it for about a week and I made my decision on Martin Luther King Day, and that was that. So it is a time of year that people really are thinking about the changes and Are they happy where they are, or should they get back into direct sales? So this is really a great time to think about, who do we know, or who can we find? Now, Jenny Wells, first of all, LuLaRoe is hanging on by a thread at this point. There is yet another tremendous lawsuit pending with them. And I mean, I feel like those girls have put so much money into their business, and they're not going to want to do something else that involves buying tons of stock, right? So we don't do that. So we would be very appealing to them. It's still fashion, and God knows our fashion is about 1,000 times nicer than LuLaRoe's fashion. So we may appeal to some of them. Jenny Wells was telling me that a company was closing. She was at a vendor fair, and a friend that, hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Oh, it's one you've probably heard of, Clever Container. Clever Container is closing, going out of business. So she texted me last week. A friend who works with Clever Container told me yesterday it's their last event because they're closing this week. So again, you don't have to know the people. You can just start researching. Use Facebook and use Google to just research, let's say Clever Container leaders or Clever Container, whatever, and then see who comes up. And you just kind of have to dig for a while to find some of these people. And then, again, you can pass it along to me to get it to the right spot. If you've ever dealt with Lori Mitchell before, then you can certainly send her your leads directly. Usually what happens is, if they know it's a lower level leader, they have me make the call. Or Lori will make the initial call and then say, Michelle Zito's going to call you. She's the leader of the team you'd be working with if you choose to join us. And then I continue from there. So send those names and phone numbers on to me. Lori literally does the call. When I've sent her leads, she calls them like within a day. And what's nice about having Lori do the leads is that she keeps me informed of what's happening. So she'll tell me who she got in touch with, or this one's lead will be lower level. Why don't you take it from here? She'll call me and give me a summary. None of that went on with Kathy. So I kind of enjoy doing the leads with Lori because I feel like it's such a more transparent process. And I have a better sense of what's going on. So, and it doesn't have to be those companies. Sorry, go ahead, Becky.
Can you repeat again, because part of our initial kind of information gathering, what should the monthly or yearly sales look like for an area direct appoint, or what size team should we look for? Like quick number, doesn't have to be a hard fast rule, but
yeah. I mean,
a good guide.
It's going to be something similar to what we have here. Somebody who has 5 to 10 that would probably be an area. Although 10 with big sales, they might consider division depending on the volume. Because if you start hearing 10,000, 10 to 20,000 a month, then that would probably be more like a division, because that's even what a division numbers are here.
Yeah.
There are other factors. So let's say they have 5 and they do 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, but they're going to be the only person in their area, right? They may bring them in as a division just because they're going to have to be the leader in that area, and they want to give them as much room as possible to be able to recruit another leader under them, to be able to be rewarded for the extra work they're going to have to do running their own meetings and stuff. Whereas if they have that number and they live in Houston and are going to come to your meeting and deal with you directly, then they'll be fine at area because they don't have to do those jobs. So sometimes that's a factor as well. Sorry, go ahead, Belinda.
I say you also have to remember that some businesses are wholesalers.
Yes.
So when they buy stuff or they make their sales, if it's 5,000, it's really 10,000 in our world. So, so it's about, I mean, a division, or, if they do 7,000, it'll be 12,
Correct.
14. But I had a question for you, Michelle. Because I have a girl that does Pamper Chef now, that used to be in my old business. And you could say she was a division also.
Okay.
But I have bumped into her, and she's like, no, I'm good. Like, she doesn't even want to hear it. So people like that, do you just hand out a name and a phone number and have you guys call them, or how does that work?
Well, sometimes it is.
You know the whole Pamper Chef stuff, so you'll be great to talk to her. I don't know.
Right.
The difference.
It's so funny that she went from jewelry to Pampered Chef. Like, most people who sell jewelry first are horrified at the job of Pampered Chef. So I find that hilarious.
Lugging loads and loads of crap and doing dishes all day and always smelling like garlic.
Yes, it ruins your car. Like, I can't even, it's so funny.
But see, you got to remember that even though I didn't do that, a lot of the girls that were in my old jewelry business will carry lots and lots of jewelry because it was cash and carry. We didn't have to order the jewelry, so people would grab and go right there and then. So you will bring doubles, triples of that one piece that you sell a lot, or instead of 17 trays, you'll bring 34 trays. And so you log in a lot anyway. So I'm thinking that's possibly the reason why she will go to that. Me? Heck no. I dance. I will never. But I guess she enjoyed it. I don't know.
Right.
So she looks like she's happy. She's actually lost a lot of weight too, because she was really heavy and she was having problems on her knees and all that stuff, and she lost a lot of weight. So I don't know. I just think
the total opposite of most Pampered Chef people. Most Pampered Chef people lose weight when they come to Park Lane. Well, here's the thing.
Because me and her, she used to be on a different team here. But that team, as soon as it got really high, it dropped at the same time. So everybody quit from this girl's team.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes they say no. Like, let's say this girl knows that you were the same level, right? And now she's thinking, oh, she wants me to be under her. Who does she think she is? We're going to be the same. We were the same level. I'm not working under her. So sometimes that's where it's better when the outside person calls, because then, let's say Lori spoke to her. It would be, we know that you were a leader of a high level. We heard you were a leader at a high level. We would love to have you at that high level here. And now she's thinking, oh, I'm only a team leader at Pampered Chef. I could get my old title back and go back to jewelry. And if she does end up lateral to you, at least you get the 2%. And her sales would count towards 50% of what you need to go to senior division. And then when you promote to senior division, if she was still a division, she would be on your team. Because then you would be higher than her. So I think it's worth a shot. She can always say no if she really genuinely does love Pampered Chef. But she might be saying, right now, I feel confident she doesn't know what she's saying no to.
I mean, I kind of briefly, but at a supermarket, kind of told her, because we bumped into each other in the middle of an aisle. And, she heard, but I don't know if she just listened and nodded her head and like ignored what I said, and again, like you said, I don't want to be underneath her, or I don't want to,
Right.
But even though we were in separate teams, we used to like help each other with jewelry, so we became friends.
Right.
And she actually became really close to another girl in my team. So, so we were always around. Now she has me in a VIP page for the shop. So.
Do you know what her level is?
I don't know. How would I know that?
If you go on her website, it'll say it right on the front.
Really? Okay, I'm going to check.
Yeah, let me know when you find out, and then we'll know.
Okay.
So, any other thoughts or questions on direct appoint?
So are they just going to automatically, the link is going to have it, like pick your own, or is it going to be a custom kit, or?
I think it's going to be like a send a list to Eric thing, because this, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. The whole company is not getting this. What happened was, apparently, you know how at some point or another, we've all had special things offered to us, right? Whether when we were new, whether when, you know, we've had leaders leave and then those that stayed got something extra. We've all had extra things come to us at some point in our career here at Park Lane, most of us. Well, the Treasure Tribe had one of those special offers, but she went all out on Facebook saying it in public. So a bunch of leaders were like, what's the deal with that? So, of course, Scott's knee-jerk reaction was to say, well, you could have it too. So I said, well, then good. So that's why we have it too. Personally, I don't watch her live, so I actually didn't know that she did it, but it was brought to my attention by somebody else. So when Mary Grace said, hey, she really shouldn't be saying that stuff publicly, he knee-jerked to, well, you could have it too. And she was like, well, that wasn't really the point of what I'm saying. I'm saying it kind of is bad for you, for her to go out in public and advertise their special things. So, but regardless, the result is that we also got it. So we have, this is something that, again, it's time sensitive. It only is till January 2nd. So something we want to work on right away.
Is it be launched by January 2nd?
I think signed up is good. You know, like signed up, we'll get them their kit. Because usually leaders, they give the kit up front. The other thing is that, so, you know, when you look at your work calendar, usually we know that, especially if you've, you know, been around a while, you start noticing the patterns. Usually we know that the last week of December into the first week of January is like the big special. And what they've done is then say, if you sell X amount in those 2 weeks, you get to use it for all of January. Well, look at your calendar. The weeks at hand are going to be the week that starts December 20th and ends on the 26th, which does have a pretty decent weekend in there, the 22nd and the 23rd. And then the week after Christmas, which starts on the 27th, so the 27th and the 28th, also a nice date to have shows, ending on January 2nd, which is our Belinda Ellsworth thing, which we're still waiting on a registration link for. So that's the 2 weeks that we're going to have a sales minimum to extend the specials from January 3rd through the 30th. So I want you to be aware of that so that you can start mobilizing for how we're going to get sales in those 2 weeks, because I want everybody to be able to offer the specials, and not just the leaders, but like really everybody. We want our fashion directors to be able to. So that is what Mary Grace is going to talk about in the Booking Blitz today. Some ideas for jumping ahead to get some legitimate sales in there. I mean, it's not like people don't shop in that time. Half the world goes to the mall on the day after Christmas to do all of the blowout shopping and friends and family discount. The best idea that I've heard so far is to announce to all of your customers that they can have the Park Lane Friends and Family discount. And the Friends and Family discount would really be, figure 50% off to start, right? And then you can deduct another however much of your commission you either get or are willing to give up. So like when Teresa wants to buy something from me, I give her 50% off of 50% off, because I don't feel I need to make money on my 14-year-old daughter. So I break even on the sale, because once I get paid, that's what it is. So if she wants something, I do 50% off 50%. So whatever that total is what she pays. So if you make 40, 45, you could do 50 and then figure the 45% that you would earn, figure out what percentage that is, and then offer your friends and family discount, which is going to be something like 80%. And then process the orders. You'll break even when all's said and done, but the important thing is that your sales are in and that you have the specials to offer for the rest of January. And we'll be in line with what the mall is offering and what all the other stores are going to be offering. So what do you think of that?
Sounds good. You charge your daughter?
Only when she wants a lot, like a couple of extra things. Of course, I give her stuff all the time. But like a better example really would have been when the boys, even Anthony didn't care. When Matthew kept wanting to upgrade what he's giving at a Sweet 16. He wanted an impressions bracelet to give at a Sweet 16. And I was like, Matthew, that's a $200 bracelet. I know, but it's really nice. So I gave it to him for like 40. Well, this was before you could get them for 25. Otherwise, I obviously would have did it for 25. But this was all last year, 2 years ago when they didn't even have that. But yeah, sometimes I do charge my daughter for things because otherwise I would have nothing here.
I know, I'm only kidding. I have two, remember?
I know. And also, any stuff that I just let her take, sometimes I don't see her wear. Anything that she actually pays a little bit of money for, she makes sure she really wants it, and then she wears it. So she's not wasting my stuff.
So, Michelle, the Week at a Glance is out. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I did not.
They have that noted. It's $600 to extend it for the rest of the month.
Okay, so now we know. So basically that's staying on top of either doing the 300 each of the 2 weeks.
Right, dedication weeks.
Or if you put in a bigger sale the first week and then take one of your zeros or whatever, however you want to handle it. But if you're staying on top of your 300 a week, then you'll have it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Now, Michelle, I need you to repeat what you said about the kit special, because I have a lady who has her launch show on Saturday.
Great. Is she coming in as a leader?
No, she's coming as a fashion director.
Okay, so then it wouldn't apply. This was for direct appoint.
Direct appoints. Okay. All right. Great.
So direct appoints of area or above.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No problem. Congratulations on having a launch party.
Yeah, most definitely.
Is it a brand new person or a relaunch?
It's the lady that you met at the when you were down to the DC area.
Oh, good.
Jeremy Cunningham.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
What was the 600? I'm sorry, I didn't understand that part.
From December 20th through January 2nd.
Right.
We need to do 600 net in order to be able to continue the big special from those 2 weeks throughout January.
Oh, okay.
So you can either do your 300 each week like you've been doing all along, or if you have like a show where you do your 600 and you end up at zero for for the other week, you're still okay for the special for January.
So the $225 specials, that's what you're saying?
No, well, no, there's going to be a much bigger specials. You know how they usually do like 5 fast 50s and the hostess gets the extra 250 and all that? And there's going to be, there is going to be an adjustment to the hostess special as well. I'll tell you guys. It's going to, well, all right. As of right now, you know how Scott changes his mind every 2 seconds. So if he changes his mind, don't blame me. But they're doing the two $200 pieces for $25 each at the $60 purchase instead of $90 during those 2 weeks.
Well, I don't even tell my customers that, so I tell them at the end. So I said, because of the amount that you spend, now you can get 2 items up to $200 for $25.
Yes, that's good. That's good. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
The after Christmas is a pretty good time to have the reduced amount though, because people may be spending a little less, and we can still, because also a lot of times they announce the trip. Last year they announced the trip that first week of January. It might be double points, net and non counts for trip points. So we're going to want everybody getting those 2 specials. But if you feel your people would spend 90 regardless, then don't tell them it's 60. What I did at quite a few shows was I was finding that the 2 specials was making people more inclined to share an order. And we don't want that for so many reasons. So I still said it was 1. But then when I did the order, I kind of did what you said, which was actually because of what you spent, you get a second one. But actually even better than that was I said, you get 1. And then I said, when you book a show, you get a second. So some people booked a show so they could get a second one.
Rosa's last night, I just said, there's an additional special, and we'll talk about it at checkout when you've met the requirements. And so everybody's order would meet the requirements. I would just go to them and say, you know what, you've unlocked this second special where you can get 2 more items, this one and this one on your list for only $25 each. So I didn't even want to confuse them in the show. I kind of tipped it off and then.
That's awesome.
And that's the reason why I don't do it, because people already are confused with the 2 and 4. For you to give them the 25 and then the hostess rule, get it. We'll talk about it at the checkout. And they end up spending a whole lot more than the 90.
A lot of times they absolutely do. You're totally right.
Mm-hmm.
I know my convention presentation is doing the checkout. And, if the person comes up with a long list, how do you handle it? How do you do a short list? Needless to say, that could be an hour of potential, say this, say that, da, 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 da. And that is yet another thing I could have put in there, for the specials. Bless you. For the specials, you can make a contingent on a booking. You cannot tell them how much it costs, like all of that, but they're not going to let me do that many. All right, Joy is actually messaging me that with a $30 purchase, they get a signature bracelet for $69. Is that in the week at a glance?
A signature bracelet?
During dedication weeks, if a customer spends $30, they get a signature bracelet for $69. Just curious if it's any color. Where is she reading that?
I didn't see that, but I am looking on my phone, so maybe I need to go in the other room to my desktop to see if I see it real quick.
Bless you, Becky.
That's why I went on mute, because it'll go on forever.
I see.
If Joy is listening, maybe we can ask her where she's seeing that.
Yeah, she's sending it to me on Messenger. I don't see it in this email.
I don't see it in the week at a glance.
I'm going to ask her where she saw that.
Yeah.
Probably one of Scott's random posts in which we have to be clarified later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's actually an excellent thought.
It's not in the week at a glance, but that's wonderful.
Because the week at a glance says we're going to get a separate email about all of the dedication week specials.
All right, I'm going to walk away for a minute and go to my desktop and see if I see it.
Yes, a customer who spends $60 can go back and get any 2 items for $200. Hostesses with a minimum of $300 can select an additional $250 for $40.
Where are you seeing it?
So you had to click on a link.
Oh, okay.
You want me to share my screen?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can y'all see that? So when you clicked on the one that said specials, this little dedication weeks.
Yeah.
Here are the details. So when a customer spends 60, so the HRCs, Fast 50s, whatever the hostess allowance. I mean, how are you supposed to teach them that? It's $40 for the $250.
Let's take a screenshot. Don't move it.
A customer with a minimum of $30 purchase and a host with a minimum of $300 may purchase the Amazing Signature Bracelet as a non-commission monthly special for only $69.
Dang.
All right, so I would interpret that as they're totally picking the color.
Whatever's left.
Right. What are the current available colors? Let's see.
The pillow spot.
What is?
I'm just going to take a quick look at what colors we still have.
The pillow.
Oh, did you already take the screenshot, Belinda? I'm sorry.
I did. Thank you.
Okay, top 10 stylists during dedication weeks receive a $500 gift card. Stylists who submit 600 personal sales receive the Genie earrings and qualify to extend the customer double bonus and $250 all through. Those are pretty. And he put on the post, look, those are beaded like the Moroccan earrings.
Yes, they are. Which means hopefully they're lighter. Hopefully they're still light.
They have that cloth in the back. I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The available colors are still topaz, black, red, clear, lavender, and gray.
Wonderful.
So we just, the purple is not here, and the aurora.
Mhm.
Okay, here's a fun fact. New recruits who start during dedication weeks or after are exempt from the qualification.
That's huge.
What do you mean, the
So if
$1,000?
somebody starts in the second week of January, they're automatically going to be able to use the
The specials, yeah. Good.
Oh, the $600. Okay.
I keep scrolling as though it's my screen I'm reading. Sorry.
Sorry if I'm scrolling too fast. Okay,
No,
that's
you're not. You're
You
not.
might be going too slow.
single item. I don't understand this single item for 200 for only
I'm
25.
thinking that that's just a tile that you can post and you'll still have the liberty of doing. Wait, what was this? What's the amount? Because there it says 2 items. A lot of people only like to talk about one and then use the second one for either a booking or some other behavior that they want. So a lot of team members, a lot of people request something to post about one. Wow. Okay. So this is quite a special. Now this group of specials does not start until next Thursday, a week from today.
Oh, that's okay. The one bonus item, if you do not submit 600, you'll have 150 in fast 50s and still one $25 item.
With 60. Okay. Okay.
That's what that tile below is.
Got it. Yes.
There's too much reading.
Reading is fundamental. Thank you, Becky. Okay. All right. So I don't know why it said we're getting a separate email with all the specials when actually they had a link to all the specials in the same email, but that's fine. So this week we're still on the 150, the 2 at 90, etc. But it is going to be really important that we be able to use that special in January. So we have to really make sure that we ourselves are getting that 600 in and that we work with as many team members as possible to get that 600 in so that they can have a great start to the year as well. Because a lot of people are booking January with this booking blitz. We want them to have the good special. Now, they still have a good special regardless because they are still getting the extra 150. They're still getting customers that get the special at a $60 purchase instead of a $90. So it's not like they're not getting something, but obviously $250 is better. Wow, so they must really have a lot of signature bracelets in stock if they're willing to give them for
$69. Yes.
If they're
The only issue is that we don't get paid on that.
No, it's gonna be, trip points and convention Trip and convention points is really what that, well, let's hope it's trip points, but it's definitely convention as well. And rich rewards and stuff like that. So that's always good. But also something, again, to show at the checkout. I don't know that I would necessarily advertise that during the show.
Correct.
You know, because you don't want them not taking a half price item because of the signature.
Right.
Meanwhile, I cannot find my clear signature bracelet. Somehow, how do you lose a signature bracelet?
You were probably using your chopper and it flew away.
That's right. Meanwhile, as I'm looking at my signatures, I actually only have, somehow at this moment, I only have black and topaz. I must have gave them away.
I've slowly used them for incentives.
That's what I did, I think.
Because the impressions bracelets are just balanced for every body type.
Yeah.
Even women that don't like to wear a lot of jewelry find that find it a better style.
I do still have an Aurora, but we don't have that anymore, so I can't show it. All right. Well, what's that?
I said I'll take that off your hands.
I'm sure I'll use that for some sort of team incentive at some point. But all right, so this was a lot to think about, a lot to talk about, and a lot to do. So I think we all have lots and lots of action that we can now take as far as continuing to book our own personal Januaries. You know, keep in mind that the reality is that the majority of our team is not taking our advice right now. They are not booking January the way that we as leaders know it has to be booked. So if you want to have a good paycheck throughout January, you have to take matters into your own hands. And you have to do a lot of personal sales. Mary Grace told me that that's the main reason why she does so many sales in January, because she knows that the team won't, and she wants to have the same paycheck no matter what. So yes, we'll have some team members working, but it's not going to be what you're typically used to. So take control of your income and take control of your, you know, how you're going to feel about your business for 2019 by having a good start to January. And that is so, and now we know that it's not just about booking January, but it's about getting 600 in sales from December 20th to January 2nd. And we'll talk about lots of ways to make it happen, but an after Christmas blowout is definitely going to be part of it. So, all right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for your time. I know that it's a particularly busy time to be coming on calls like this, and we always have such great attendance and participation on these, and I just really appreciate that about all of us. So have a great rest of your day, and if there's anything you want to talk about one-on-one, just let me know. And I have a show this afternoon, so I will talk to you all probably tonight, and I'll be back in the office for a normal day tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.